to work for this company, and it was a financial printing company that dealt with printing on a financial scale, where as a pricing analyst, which I was a pricing analyst for this printing company, this financial printing company, and I started out basically on the entry level. I was the records keeper for the company, basically keeping their records alphabetized and filing away papers and stuff like that. And the manager liked my work so much that he actually decided to give me a position as a pricing analyst. Went through training and things like that. Now, when I was leaving the position as a records keeper, they decided to now go and hire someone to fill my position, and they took the guy from a temp agency. They took him from a temp agency, and his name was Kurt. Kurt was this island guy that was married, and he seemed real cool. He got along with everybody, happy-go-lucky, just really, a fun guy to be around and actually work with. He was a really good person. When I say good person, you didn't have a bad word to say about this guy, because everything he did, he was selfless, and he was about, teamwork, and I like that about him. So when I was training him, and the manager asked me, would this be a guy that I should consider on, hiring from the agency on a permanent basis, I gave him 2 thumbs up. I said, this is the perfect guy to take over my position. So he was working there for a year, and at the time I was dating a few women, but I was dating a girl on the job. Now, I broke my cardinal rule to date on the job, but this girl, Shannon, she was really nice, and she really liked me more than I liked her, and I was like, why not? And we had a good friendship before getting anything on the physical level. We had a really good friendship, better than anything physical. And when we took it to the physical, she got even more. Her feelings for me were even stronger. She caught real feelings for me once we got physical. So she knew I was dating other women, but not everybody on the job knew that I was still dating other women when I was hanging out with Shannon. So Kurt, who I thought was a friend, okay, knowing what I know now, this guy was out to move up and leave records keeping and be an analyst, but they didn't need any analysts, so I guess he thought in his mind he could get me fired, and then he could then take over my position. Whatever. Okay, check this out. So now I know that now, but I didn't know that then. Here I am talking on the phone with other women and all this. He's listening to my conversations and going back and telling Shannon. Really doing some bitch shit. I was like, wow. And then she told me that she found these things out through him. So I confronted him and all that other stuff, and I was like, yo, why you doing that, whatever, and this, that, and the other. Oh, hey. He denies it, whatever. So I just said, I need to watch my back around this guy, because I thought that was that was uncharacteristic of Kurt to do that. I didn't know he was like that. So, but check it out, right? This is why you never have friends on the job. Friends at the workplace is a no-no. You go to work to do work, and your friends are outside of the job, or those are your friends that you hang out with. dating on a job always is not a good idea, because then when you break up with the person or whatever, and they dating somebody else and feelings and this, that, and the other, you can't. And if the breakup is bad, you got to see that person every day and work with that person, and then it just becomes unbearable, and it becomes ugly, and it makes it an uncomfortable place to work. I know when I go home, that's supposed to be my sanctuary. If there's drama at home, I don't want to go home. If there's drama at work, I don't want to go to work. And that's how this turned out, because of this guy, Kurt. So I go to work, and, you know, whatever, that's still sticking in the back of my mind what he did. And I'm on guard around this guy, and I look at him differently. And it's a shame, because I really endorse this guy as the best guy to be on the workplace, not knowing that here I am getting him a job here and giving him a stamp of approval, and he's over here doing me dirty. So I was doing overtime. I was the only one that would do overtime on a Sunday, because I was just getting money. I was doing overtime. I was busting out my work. I was getting all these accommodations and everything else, right? Little did they know that when I would go to work on Sunday to do overtime, West 4th have a basketball court. They call it the Cage. My cousin would come down on his bike, and I would bring my bike to work, and I would do like maybe an hour or two of work, and then the rest of the hours I was actually riding around the village. I would sit outside with my cousin. We would watch the game. We would talk to women. And this is in the summertime, so you know everybody is out in the village. Everybody's walking around. Women are looking good. We politicking with the women. We watching the game. And the whole time I'm out there, I'm getting paid. I'm getting paid. And it's crazy, because on Sunday you get double time. This time and a half on Saturday, which I did, and then I would get double time for going in on a Sunday. Now, people on the job knew I was going in on a Sunday, and I was working on a Sunday. So Kurt decided, if he's getting double time on a Sunday, let me go in there and get double time. I didn't know he was working this Sunday, but he was working. And then when I came in to shut the lights off and pack up and bounce, he was there. And he basically took notes and all this other stuff. And then when Monday came, told the manager that what time I left, what time I came back. And when the manager looked at my time card and saw that I put in 8 hours, but I was only there for 2, I got basically questioned about it. So when I was in the office with the manager, I didn't lie. I said, yeah, you know, I basically got paid for 8, but only did 2. And he said, what's the reason for that? You know, that's stealing or whatever. And I was like, yeah. And it led to my dismissal. I said, wow. So I didn't fight it. I was like, you know, I ate that. And Shannon was still at the job or whatever. And what dealings Shannon and I had, they basically ended on a good note or whatever. And she would keep me informed on what was going on at the job and all that. And sure enough, Kurt went from working as, you know, the records keeper, then taking my position in training to be an analyst. I said, okay, that's why you should never have friends on the job and relationships with women on the job and this, that, and the other, and because it leads to stuff like this. And looking back at it now, it's like it's a lesson learned. And I never dated women on a job before that. Never dated women on a job after that. Did I have friends and stuff like that on at company jobs and stuff like that? Yeah, but I gave them only enough where it didn't come back on me at the job. Like if I was doing anything sideways that affected the company or whatever, or if the company can bring any of my behaviors to me as a fireable offense, I kept it to myself. If I was taking anything, if I was, you know, doing shortcuts, anything that dealt with my job performance where they could bring me up on something that was a fireable offense, I kept it to myself. Where I messed up was I trusted the wrong person that had the best disguise as a friend. And that led to my dismissal, which was, you know, I look back at it now, I was like, whatever. But at the time, I was heated because I had bills. And that's the one thing you never do. You never try to get anybody fired from a job when they got bills, they got support families and stuff like that. I don't know how anybody could live with themselves knowing that they got somebody fired from a job. And because I know me, if I'm a manager and one of my employees was coming to me whispering in my ear, oh, look at this person, look at that person, and trying to get that person fired, I will look at them a lot closer than I will look at the person that's doing dirt, trying to get that person fired. I mean, like, come on, because that person would do me like that. I'm the manager, and that person will whisper to my manager, oh, look at Darren, I know he's the man, and then try to get me fired. So I wouldn't even trust the snitch. The snitch is the worst person to trust, because then that's this person that's going to stab you in the back as well. There's no loyalty, so F that. So that's my story.